from the Office of Disaster Preparedness Management up in Tacarigua. Of course, Tropical Storm Bret continues to dominate the headlines. It's moving towards the southeast of Trinidad and expected to move near or over Trinidad and Tobago. Winds of up to 65 kilometers per hour are expected. And of course, we're hearing that Trinidad is supposed to feel the effects from around 9 to around 3-6 hours. Now, earlier in the day, acting Deputy CEO of the ODPM, Captain Neville Wint, spoke to you, addressed the media. I've got Captain Wint here with me. Since then, have we had an update? Good evening, Captain.
The update, as you said, is that the depression has now been upgraded to a tropical storm. So far, throughout the 14 municipalities, we have not had any major impact at this point in time. However, we have 2 reports in Tobago, a collapsed house and a fallen tree, which caused the northern side of Tobago without electricity at this point in time. However, crews from TNTech is responding to that, so it's hopefully within the next hour or so we could have electricity back up on that part of Tobago. Shelters have been activated and are on standby. Our plans were for a tropical storm, and therefore our plans that were briefed earlier on are still in effect for Tropical Storm Bret.
We talk about plans being in effect, but this is a major coordination. We're talking about regional corporations, and not only Trinidad, we're also talking Tobago as well. How is the coordination going between Trinidad, the ODPM, and TEMA? All
right, I'm in constant contact with the director of TEMA, and we are keeping each other abreast of activities and plans. So therefore, we are live almost immediately once incident occurs. As I said, that electricity issue just occurred about half hour ago along with the collapsed structure. So there is coordination, there is collaboration and situation awareness on either side of the divide.
Is it a blanket statement? Tobago, we're told their shelters open from 8 p.m. The shelters opening from 8 p.m. as well in Trinidad.
Shelters in Trinidad have been placed on standby based on impact of residents. Then they will be activated. Because of the landscape and the terrain of Tobago, they have open shelters to move persons who can be severely impacted from land slippage or persons in the low-lying areas. So their SOPs requires that their shelters be open. We have placed our shelters on standby. Crews and shelter managers have been notified and on standby and will be activated as the need arises based on impact.
We talk about that, but walk me through the process. Should there be an emergency in a community or per se, what is the process? Who do I contact first?
Right. The residents of the impacted community are asked to call either 511 or 999 or the ODPM hotline at 800 ODPM. Once that call is received, it will be then channeled to the respective regional corporation disaster management unit, and therefore that initial response will come from the disaster management unit of the impacted corporation. If persons have to be evacuated to a shelter, then that will be executed, persons will be housed, and therefore their needs will be taken care of at that point in time. And that is how one will move from a point of impact to a point of safety into a shelter once that call is achieved. All operations center present being manned and to receive calls from impacted residents.
We talk about all stations being manned, but in terms of manpower, can you say or an approximate how many personnel would be on the ground should needs be?
When we talk about the ground, our coordination is an all-sector coordination, so we have members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. Police has stopped leave and called out all personnel. So all essential services have basically recalled and placed their manpower on standby. So the figures is very difficult to have at this time, but based on the briefing we had today, all agencies, first responders are on standby, their staff are mobilized. There are some level of pre-mobilization for heavy equipment and earth moving equipment. And so therefore, I'm guaranteed, and based on the briefing, I'm satisfied that pre-mobilization has taken place and persons are on standby to effect a response where required.
Sometimes people don't take the ODPM and the warning seriously. As we bring a wrap on this segment, what message would you give to Trinidad and Tobago at this stage?
The message to Trinidad and Tobago is to be calm, be inside, ensure that your family plan is activated. Stay tuned to the radio, all media channels, and even the ODPM and Met Office website. So we are asking persons to be vigilant, those persons in low-lying areas to be extremely vigilant, because we have been having rain over the last 48 hours. Our ground is basically saturated, and this increased rainfall could see flooding taking place in areas so prone. So basically the advice to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is to be vigilant, be safe, and listen to the advisories. The ODPM will be making advisories again at 10 p.m. tonight, 12 and at 2 as the storm passes over, to keep the population abreast of what is happening.
Thank you very much, Acting DCEO of the ODPM, Captain Neville Wint. That was Captain Neville Wint. We're coming to you live from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management in Tacarigua. And just to let you know, the storm list that you need to have, torchlight, board up glass windows if you haven't done that as yet, have standbys, your first aid kit, canned foods, bread, biscuits, etc., storage containers for your important documents. You can put those in plastic bags. Place all medications in one spot, have all emergency numbers in one document, have an evacuation route, plan to shelter, charge all cell phones, secure all pets, and secure all loose items around your home.